So mistake number 2, we talked about using 3 kinds of verbs. Here are examples: interests, interesting, and interested. With different endings, right? We take the same verb and we change it a little bit. And this student did a really nice job. The student used interests to describe an action that always happens. So watching cricket interests me. When? Always. It always interests me, and that's an active verb. Really simple verb. Here, the student used interesting. And now it's an adjective that describes cricket. Cricket is interesting. We use ing to describe things. In the third sentence, the student used interested with ed to describe a feeling. So I am interested, it describes my feeling. And when we pronounce these, we can practice using the ed ending. So we don't say interested, that's 4 sounds. We say interested, which is 3 sounds. And the ending is id, interested. We don't say ed, we say id. Here, when we say interesting, it's the same idea, 3 sounds. Interesting. And here, interest, the S is almost silent, so you can practice pronouncing those 3. The next 3 sentences also use the verbs perfectly. Depressed, depressing, depressed. But there was a small mistake. When we use a word like earthquake, we need to use a or the right before the noun because it's one earthquake. In this case, it's common to use the because everybody already knows the earthquake, right? So news of the earthquake depressed me. When you say the earthquake, your friends will understand which earthquake you're talking about. A recent earthquake, everybody knows. When you pronounce these words like depressed, you're going to notice that there's a difference. Interested, we have that sound at the end. Interested, which is an extra sound. But when we say depressed, we just have a t sound. And it's squeezed with the S sound, depressed. How do we know? How do we know we don't say depressed? It's because when you pronounce the sound and you touch your neck, you can actually hear depressed. It's in your mouth. But when you say interested, you can feel it in your throat. Right? You can hear the interest. It's got that sound. We call that a voiced sound because it has that extra sound in your throat. With a voiced sound like that, we often use that interested. But with a word like depressed, we don't use that. It's just on your tongue, in your mouth. So overall, excellent sentences, nice work. If you look at these sentences, they provide great examples of how to use ed and ing words.